We're here, we're live, and we're ready. How about you? How are you doing on this gorgeous, hot Friday in New Jersey? I don't know where in the world you are, but we're happy and excited to have you on today's show. And this is Coach Manny. This is Coach Manny Weekly, 10:30 a.m. Eastern Time Friday broadcast. And we're here every Friday. Although next Friday, I'm not sure we'll be here, but check the channel. We're going to potentially be broadcasting live from some other location, but we'll let you know. So if not, we'll see you in 2 weeks. Anyway, excited to be here today. And let me bring up today's subject. Today we're talking about consistent selling keeps your business growing. And I had very interesting conversation after I heard some very interesting comments about the same thing. And we were talking about what is the biggest reason that companies and businesses fail. And the number one reason is, do you know what that number one reason is? Well, I think most of you know there's dozens of reasons out there. There's all kinds of writing to support them. But the real reason that most businesses don't make it is real simple. They fail to increase sales. That's it. They fail to increase sales. And I heard it, and we discussed it, and I heard it on a couple of podcasts. It's just the way it is. We fail to increase our sales. And if you're not increasing sales, what are you doing? You're decreasing them. That's just the way it is. As long as you're consistently growing your business. And, you know, I've had the pleasure to work with a lot of businesses over the years, and we've watched them grow 100, 200, 500, 1,000% and more. And some not at that rate, at a much lower rate. But the fact is, they've been consistently growing above inflation every year. So that you might have had a $500,000 business at one point, which today may be worth $2 million. Or you might have had a $10 million business, which today might be worth 20 to 25. That's the way it works, because every year you're increasing your sales. And that's what we're going to talk about today. I hope you're all good today. I'm Coach Manny Nowak, and what I do is very simple. I help business owners to increase sales. That's what I do. If you need to increase sales, that's what we do. That's what we talk about here. That's what we try to help people with here. We do it strategically, we do it tactically, and we do it accountability-wise. You see, I do one thing. I've balanced it all down and forget everything else. And that one thing is helping you to increase sales. So if you're struggling with generating business, your sales team's off peak, you need to hire salespeople. You've had some bad salespeople experiences, or you've never hired a salesperson yet and you need to, or your sales just aren't generating the way they would and the way you should, then come connect with me. That's what I've been doing, and I've been doing it for a lot of years, and we'll give you a way to do that later in the program today. The question of the day: are you consistently selling and keeping your business growing? That's the big question we have out there today. And asking you, if you're listening, if you're watching, please share this on your post out there. Do some shout outs to people that you know. Let them know. I'm going to do a couple shout outs to people who are with us today. Mike, Dean, Victor, Jim. We got a lot of people out here today. That's great. Good to have you here. And many more of you is out there, I know, watching this each week. And we hope it's helping you as you build your business. So for those who get here late, we're today talking about consistent selling to keep your business growing. And as I stated earlier in my conversation around what's the number one reason businesses don't grow, our businesses go out of businesses, they're not increasing sales. And you can fight that, you can argue with it, we can talk about it all day. But as long as you're increasing sales, guess what? You're growing. And as long as you're growing, life is a lot easier. And we all know that. When sales is up, the company's up. When sales is down, the company's down. So let me go into some great points today, and we'll see where that goes. Point number 1. This is the first thing you need to look at. Let me grab a little bit of drink here. Your sales for this year must exceed your sales for last year. You have to have some increase, of course, just to stay even when you adjust for inflation. But the point is, you have to have more than that. If sales last year were $1 million and the inflation rate was 3%, let's say, then that first $30,000 increase would just make you the same as you were last year. And if you increase less than that, then you would actually have decreased and be on your way down. But you need to be increasing. So this year's sales need to be inflation plus whatever your growth rate is above last year. And if you're interested in doubling your sales, of course, then you use one of our products, but we'll talk about that another time. Always have a sales goal in mind. What is it you're going to go for this year? What is it you're going to hit this year? Where is it you're going to get to this year? That's the question on the table, and I hope that you always have a sales goal. And as we get to the halfway point in the year now, those of you still on a yearly planning, I hope you have a sales goal. And those of you who have gotten into our 90 Days to Success program, which we're going to have more on as we move forward, I hope the last 90 days were really exciting and you increased your goal. Next week, I think we're going to start, or the week after, with something on the 90-day success. So make sure you're on our email list. If you're not, just email me or private message me and let me know that you want to get on the list. Okay, so always have a sales goal. Always set that goal higher, a little bit higher than you think you can achieve, even a little bit higher. Some people tell you a lot higher. It's got to be a stretch goal. I mean, don't sit there and tell me, well, we're going to increase sales 10%. Wonderful. Is that going to really make you stretch? Is it going to make you work? Or is it just easy? And then my last point is always exceed it. Always exceed your goal. As long as you're growing, the chances of you going out of business are almost non-existent. And when your top line is growing, doesn't it seem like the world's good, the business is good? When sales is up, you are rocking and everybody's happy. And when sales isn't up, everybody's not that good. But for you to increase sales, you have to have a written plan. As we talked about, if you didn't see our program last week, go back and look at it. It's still out on my timeline last week, and it'll be, I think it'll be up on, or is it 2 weeks ago? Well, anyhow, it's out there, and it also, most of the stuff's on our blog and YouTube. But you need a plan, and you need to execute. If you like what you're seeing today, if this is the kind of stuff that you like, if this is something that works for you, if you're learning something and you watching us Fridays, that's great. If you want even more, you should get in on the Entrepreneur Toolbox. This is a way to access all the other tools we have for a simple monthly fee of less than $30. And if you're interested, let me just throw that out there on my timeline or on the today's broadcast. So if you're interested, there's the link. And we actually do another teaching piece, another half an hour teaching piece at 11 every week, just for members of that process. So we'd like to have you on there. Let's get to point number 2. Point number 2 is always put time, energy, and priority into selling as an organization. You see, I don't care how big your company is. I don't care how long you've been doing this. I don't even care if you have the market under your control. Take a moment and look at these big guys. Look at these companies that are rocking the world. Look at these companies that are just making it happen out there. And have they decided to take a break? Come on. Amazon, Microsoft, Apple, have these companies ever stopped selling? Have they just said, I guess we're big enough. We don't really need to increase our sales anymore. Come on now. If you look closely, you just might find they're spending more time, more money, and more energy today on selling than ever. Why? Because they know the golden rule when it comes to this process, which is when you stop growing, you start shrinking. Nobody stays level. There's no such thing in business. You're either shrinking or you're growing. And if you're shrinking, you're dying. And I can tell you a bunch of stories of companies that I've worked with over the years who've hit some hard time financially. And the first thing, what do? They decide, I guess we get rid of our sales team. We'll just make everybody a house account and sales will keep right on coming. You're living in a dream world. Sales is very important to every organization and needs to be at the top of your priority. Short-term thinking will ruin your organization. And I've been there. We've cut sales teams. I've been part of that team. Even in situations where the whole sales team got cut, and it's like crazy. If you're not increasing sales, you're dying. And if you don't have some sales process and some sales people and some sales organization in place, you're probably dying. So let's go to point number 3. Hey, are you excited to be here? It is Friday. I hope you are enjoying the broadcast, and I hope you're getting ready to enjoy a great weekend. I know I am, as the 4th of July approaches, and we take a moment just to say thank you to all those who in the past and in the future who have helped us to stay free and to be a great nation. So let's get to point number 3. Point number 3 is the CEO, the business owner, should never think that anything in the organization takes a higher priority than selling. And the bottom line is, you can argue with me, you can tell me a lot of different stuff, but if you don't have that cash coming in, you don't have a business. How many times have I worked, especially with new businesses, where they're worried about all the little nooks and all the little crannies and all the little stuff, and the bottom line is, hey, wait a minute. If we don't have sales coming in, what do we got? Yeah, the phone's ringing. I can't answer it. I would answer it live if it was certain people, but I'm not going to answer that one live today. Okay. Bottom line, if you're at the top of your organization and you're not focusing on sales and increasing sales, then they're not going to increase. Selling, as the CEO, as the business owner, you got to make sales the priority that runs everything. Because as we said already, when the sales is coming in, when people are buying, when the organization's sales is growing, everything else has a way to work out, doesn't it? And that's so true. One of the key reasons I wrote my latest book, I think we had a copy here. Let's throw this up here just so you can see it. Sales success starts at the top. And one of the reasons we wrote this book, and here's a copy. Get yourself a copy. One of the reasons we wrote this book was this is directed at you as the business owner, the CEO. And it says, hey, you can do what you want, but you got to sell. Your organization's sales have to be growing. And make sure that if you're the CEO, business owner, that you know and support and encourage and lead the sales process each and every day. It's just what you have to do. Even though you may not be a salesperson, you may not have come up through the sales organization. Read, understand, and start driving it. Because as we started this conversation today, if you're not growing, you're dying. And if your sales aren't increasing, you're not growing. Let's get down to facts. And that's just plain and simple of what's going on. So, how do you get your organization there? Again, let me share with you, make an investment in your sales and marketing organization. Spend 15 minutes with me on the phone. Let me put this out there for you. You can go to this link, schedule 15 minutes with me, and let's talk and see if there's something that we can do to help you. Also, we have these great free courses. And, the big direction of course number 1 is figuring out your target market. Why do you need to figure that out? Why do you need to define it? Why is it so important? Why is that part 1 of our double your sales process? Because in order to increase sales, you have to be really focused. And so I'm going to put these links out there for you, as we always do, just to try to share them a little bit. Here's some links. Here's some ways that you can get to the free courses. And defining your target market is the most important thing up front. Wow. I'm excited you hung out with me today. I'm excited we're rocking and rolling. I'm excited to always share with you and to share ways that we can help you to increase sales. That's what we're here for. That's what I do. I help companies increase sales. If your sales aren't growing, then we should talk. So you have the links there. I want you to have a great week. If you didn't get to see all this, watch it again from the beginning. It's still out here. I'm excited. I want to thank you all for sharing with me today. Stuff keeps popping up on my screen. I'm sorry. But we will be broadcasting something next Friday. I'm not sure what yet, but we're here every Friday to share with you, to show you the stuff you need to increase your sales. It's Coach Manning saying, go have a rocking weekend. I know I am. If the shore is calling me, I hear it. If you're in Jersey or the greater Philadelphia area or North Jersey or something, we know where we're going this weekend. We know what's happening for the 4th, right? It's shore weekend. So if you're not, you probably got something in your area that's rocking and rolling. I want you to have a great 4th. I want you to remember all those who gave their lives so we could be free. Thank you and enjoy.